Imagine Musk, one of the most influential voices in tech and finance, dropping hints about XRP. A single tweet or statement from him can send shockwaves through markets, shift sentiment, and even disrupt traditional banks. But what if this time, his focus on XRP is pointing to something far bigger than just a price spike? Before we dive in, hit that like button and comment below if you trust Elon's take on crypto. I respond to all comments. Elon's influence in crypto is unmatched. From Bitcoin to Dogecoin, his involvement or even casual mentions have caused massive market reactions. Dogecoin, for example, went from a meme to a billion-dollar market overnight largely due to Elon's public attention. Now imagine if similar attention were directed at XRP, a token designed for real-world banking and cross-border transactions. The potential impact could be huge, and banks are quietly panicking behind the scenes. So why are banks nervous? XRP isn't just a cryptocurrency. It's the backbone for global payment systems, liquidity on demand, and cross-border settlements. Major financial institutions have tried to control its adoption, suppress its growth, and even influence regulatory responses. But Musk's involvement, even indirectly, threatens to bypass these traditional control mechanisms. Every time Elon drops a hint about crypto, retail investors and institutions alike pay attention. He doesn't just influence price, he influences behavior. His actions create momentum, not by accident, but because millions of people listen to what he says and trust his vision for tech and finance. When the market sees Elon hinting at XRP, it signals something bigger, a shift in global finance that banks aren't ready for. Think about how banks have historically maintained power. They rely on controlling information, restricting access, and using fear to keep investors in line. But Musk thrives on disruption and transparency. When he hints at XRP, it signals that traditional banking power structures could be undermined. This creates both fear and opportunity. Banks fear losing their monopoly, while savvy investors recognize a chance to get in early. Now let's talk psychology. Most people react emotionally. They chase pumps, sell at small gains, and panic during dips. This predictable behavior is exactly what banks hope for. They want retail investors to follow patterns they can anticipate and profit from. Elon's influence, however, shifts this dynamic. It encourages a more strategic view, understanding adoption, technology, and long-term growth rather than reacting to every spike in price. Consider XRP's technology. XRP can settle transactions in seconds with minimal fees. Unlike other cryptocurrencies, it's designed to work seamlessly with global financial institutions. Ripple has been forming partnerships with banks, payment providers, and even central banks worldwide. Musk's influence adds an extra layer of visibility, amplifying adoption potential and accelerating the rate at which banks must adapt. Imagine this scenario. A major bank is preparing to integrate XRP into its cross-border system, but suddenly, news surfaces that Elon Musk has hinted at XRP's potential. The media picks it up, retail investors react, and the conversation goes viral. Suddenly, banks that thought they could quietly prepare find themselves exposed to public scrutiny, investor pressure, and market volatility. This is exactly the kind of disruption Musk thrives on, and banks aren't prepared for it. Let's take a historical perspective. In 2021, when Elon tweeted about Bitcoin and Dogecoin, markets moved billions in a matter of hours. Investors who understood the implications and held their positions benefited massively. Now, apply that logic to XRP, a token already poised for real-world adoption and utility. Those who position themselves strategically could see unprecedented growth, while banks struggle to maintain control. The lesson here is clear: patience and strategy are everything. Selling at the first hint of a pump is a trap. Banks expect retail investors to panic or cash out too early. Musk's strategy, even if indirect, teaches us the value of holding and understanding the bigger picture. XRP isn't just a coin for short-term profits, it's infrastructure for the future of finance. Those who recognize this early have an enormous advantage. Think about the power shift taking place. XRP adoption grows, Ripple partnerships expand, and tech leaders like Elon influence sentiment. Banks, once in complete control, are now reacting instead of leading. This is not hype, it's a structural shift in global finance. Understanding this landscape is critical for anyone holding XRP or considering it as part of their portfolio. Now, let's break down Elon's potential strategy. First, he likely sees XRP as a vehicle for systemic change, not just speculation. Second, his influence could accelerate adoption indirectly by increasing public interest and institutional curiosity. Third, he creates a narrative that challenges banks' monopolies on information, forcing them to react publicly rather than quietly. Combining these elements creates a scenario where banks lose control and early adopters can capitalize strategically. Finally, what does this mean for you as an XRP holder? Don't focus solely on price. Focus on understanding the technology, tracking adoption, and positioning for the long term. This is a unique moment in finance. Retail investors can leverage transparency, tech influence, and the momentum created by figures like Elon Musk to their advantage. Those who act strategically could see life-changing results. If this opened your eyes, hit that like button and comment below. Do you think Elon's influence could make XRP unstoppable? Share your thoughts and predictions. Stay tuned, stay informed, and remember, the future of finance is being rewritten before our eyes, and XRP could be leading the charge.